I feel like I've climbed so many mountains, and like you get to that peak and you're like, yeah, I did it. Yeah. And then you look all around you and you enjoy the view for a moment, and then you realize no matter which direction you go, you're heading downhill. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever like buttoned the wrong button to the wrong hole. But I went to a funeral once and I saw a guy that had done that. And I still feel bad because I didn't say anything to him. I mean, it was like a group conversation, so it was also like not the right time to be like, yo, your buttons are misaligned.
Pass a note.
Right.
I don't know. No.
But I still regret like not catching him like 10 minutes down the road after the conversation broke up.
I feel like it happened to me a lot as a child, but mostly when I put my PJs on.
Oh.
I really noticed it. I was bad at that.
I don't know if I remember back that far for myself.
Last week, what was going on? It's been a week.
So yeah, it has been a week. I think, first the recording the episode with Dylan was awesome.
He was a great guest.
I think he was super interesting. I also kind of appreciated that he asked us some questions too.
Yeah.
So I thought that was neat. We didn't get to talk to him about like all of the topics we had, but we go in deep on so many.
Yeah.
I would love to have him back on at some point. Man, my past week has been so busy, and I feel like I'm going to be talking for a bit, so maybe I'll just ask you how your week went.
No, that's fine. I don't know. I started coaching volleyball.
That's right. Yeah.
And so it was like tryouts week, and this is my second year doing it. It's like 7th graders, so some are really good and some are really bad. And so
have you coached? You've coached before, I think.
Just
right?
the 1 year before this.
Okay.
And it's the same like school. So same thing going on. And so I kind of knew what to expect to look for in tryouts this year. So it was a lot better than usual. Last year, I feel like I was like, I don't know what I'm looking for, even though I've played volleyball and I know what I'm looking for, but it's so hard to judge girls. But now I felt like it was a lot better. So it's fun.
Is that's a volunteered position?
No, I do get paid for it, but
nice.
Yeah. So like I'm the assistant 7th grade coach. And so then there's the head coach, but yeah, it'll help pay for my laptop.
Sure.
That's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You got to have that side hustle.
Yep.
Just like the podcast.
Yeah.
Although that's been
hopefully. This is like a volunteer job now.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. On to your week.
Well, I don't know if I want to get off your topic yet.
Okay.
Welcome to The Wardrobe. This is the Who You Know podcast. I'm your host, Rylan Deemer, joined by my co-host,
Elisa Wilde.
We've got a great show for you today. Lots of fun stuff to talk about. A few segments. No guest today. So you're going to be getting to know us better and maybe some of our alter egos. And you're coaching volleyball, but why do you want to do that?
I would say
I assume it's not the money.
No. So like I played volleyball through college, and I feel like a lot of people who do that really are just kind of addicted to the game, So one of my friends reached out. She would be the head 7th grade coach, and so last year she reached out and she was just like, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing, because she hasn't played volleyball before, so she wanted an assistant that like did know how to play volleyball. And so I thought about it for a really long time because I'm studying for exams. It'll be like a pretty big time commitment. But then I did it because, I would love to like be involved in volleyball. But I did it. And what made me like it so much is knowing that I'm having like an impact on some children's lives, which is what I don't get through my job. So it's kind of like that extra like, wow, I'm helping someone get better or like enjoy the game of volleyball more or whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
So now that's more of like what I'm addicted to. It's like improving someone's skills or just impacting their life somehow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about, like with your career, do you think about doing like math tutoring or something like that?
I have. So like I even have my name in like a list of math tutors that hasn't started yet. They have something in a different city and they're trying to bring it here, but hasn't gotten that ball rolling yet. I think COVID did not help with that. So I would like something like that. And I've thought about like Big Brothers, Big Sisters or whatever. So it's just studying makes me feel like I wouldn't be able to give the time that I want to give sometimes.
I know that feeling. And this past week, I wrapped up or think that I wrapped up the last of my you're already celebrating.
I'm so excited for you.
I haven't gotten results yet, but I submitted my like final 2 papers for becoming an actuary.
It's like you're that much closer to being done. Just gotta pass and then you're done and it'll feel so good.
I don't know if it will. I don't know if I'll feel good about it at all. I want to talk for a little bit about this because every time I complete, like when I completed my final exam to become an actuary, a lot of people are like, oh, you must feel so great. And, you know, submitting these final couple papers, which I submitted it was like 21 or 23 pages of single-spaced writing this week, which is a lot. I don't feel great about it at all. It's nice to have it behind me or whatever, but I feel like I have achieved so many cool things in my life, whether it's like career stuff, personal stuff, buying a house, getting married, having great relationships with friends, even stuff in video games feels cooler to me than just knocking some academic requirements out of the way. And I think part of this is I feel like if I had done this when I were younger, like if I had not changed jobs and if I had stayed the course at my original employer and just knocked everything out right away, then I would have been done at age 26 or something. Yep. And then I think I would be feeling a lot more excited about it. But at this point, I feel like I've climbed so many mountains, and you get to that peak and you're like, yeah, I did it. Yeah. And then you look all around you and you enjoy the view for a moment, and then you realize no matter which direction you go, you're heading downhill.
Yep.
And so then you just start looking for that next peak. And I think this is the struggle that anyone who's achieved some degree of success has to go through, is there's only so many peaks you can climb where you're well, now you just need a taller peak. And I feel like getting through all my actuarial requirements isn't as tall of a peak as a lot of other things that I've done in life. And so for me, it's just I feel like it's a warm up to something else, or it's a nice little achievement to put on the wall, but it doesn't mean more to me than even some the projects that I've worked on in my career. I
feel like when I get to that point, it's not so much I achieved something, it's thank God I don't have to spend time doing this anymore. That's the thing that I would be celebrating, because then I can do whatever else I want.
Yeah.
But I'm more of I'm finally done. Maybe it's I finally got down the mountain.
So some relief.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've ever had to put my life on hold to get through this process. Not that it didn't I had to skip weddings. I had to skip parties. But I've never really sidelined my life to get through the process. I kept playing video games. I kept having a good time.
Were you ever stressed about it though? And you could have spent your evening not stressing?
Yeah, but that's not that big. I'll be stressed whether I'm studying for an exam or not.
Okay, yeah.
That's just the way I am. I'm kind of mentally spun up.
Yep.
So I'm either going to be using that twitchy energy to study, or I'm going to be using it to think about how to improve the podcast, or I'm going to be using it to any number of things that I want to do, but it doesn't change the feeling of it to me.
Yeah.
It's all stuff that I want to do. So at the end of the day, I I submitted these requirements, which is good, but I don't feel one way or another about it, I guess.
You all should feel proud of him, though.
Yeah, you all should definitely like tell me how proud you are of me. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I kind of enjoy like other people's reactions to it more than anything that I feel internally about it, which is interesting.
Well, yeah, because I would say I'm jealous. Like, I have an exam in the fall and I'm ready to be done with it. And
sure.
Yeah, I just want to pass and be done, basically.
Well, I encourage you to work hard and go for the passing score.
Yep.
And I will celebrate when you pass.
I'll celebrate when you get those 3 letters behind your name too.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to throw my FSA party, actually. I've been that's like been one of my biggest daydreams lately is like, what am I going to do for this monstrous party?
Just so you know, some people say that these FSA parties are like bigger than their wedding reception ceremony, whatever, like the cost even.
Yeah.
So
no, they can get pretty unreal. And I don't know if mine's going to be that kind of
it'll be
party.
More of a chill.
Yeah, I was
secluded.
Like I was thinking
exclusive party.
Yes, very exclusive. Yeah. Although I will be inviting every actuary I know.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was almost thinking it'd be cool to do like maybe I've already said this on the podcast, but like a meditation prior to like the music starting and stuff. So I was thinking about doing like 4 hours of meditation, guided meditation.
Yeah.
So let's say that starts at 6 p.m. Okay. But the party's doors close at 9 p.m. and then the music starts at 10. So I was thinking like you have to be there for like at least an hour of the meditation before like the party starts. That way everyone's kind of like on the level with each other.
Yeah, I feel like you mentioned that, but maybe not specifically for that. Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking that, and then maybe having some like hookah stations set up around the perimeter and kind of decorating it like an opium den with like huge flat pillows and like flowy silk like curtaining everywhere.
Yep. Good luck planning.
I mean, this is just like one idea. And like I've been thinking about it a lot lately. So we'll see what I end up with at the end of the day. But
it's very different than what I wanted to do for like my birthday party this year. I wanted to have like, we went to that drag show kind of. It was more of like a pageant, but they did lip syncing. I was like, let's have a lip syncing party where we have to dress up for the part.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And like, you can tell me your song choices and I'll be the DJ for the night. And I mean, I'll also perform. But then as I kept thinking about it, I'm like, oh man, I'm way more nervous to do this than I thought. Like, so, and I think a lot of our friends in our friend group would not be open to it, but
I mean, good. That'll give me more time on stage.
Yeah.
Like, I would love that.
I said you could submit multiple. You could be a solo. You could have a duet. You could get the Spice Girls together. I don't know.
The whole idea sounds great.
I think, I just have to pull it off.
We need to
get people in.
Yeah. We need to generate lots of outgoing people to come to that party. That sounds awesome, though.
I think so.
I'll be there. That sounds great.
Okay, good. Be us too.
Yeah. Okay. So we've already done the intro. I don't remember our first segment, so help me out.
Well, so like last week we were talking about virtual reality a little bit, and then we got into, correct me if I'm wrong because I have no idea, but kind of like this, I don't know, trip you went on or like an adventure you went on. Was this the next topic?
Yes, it was. Audrey's here to keep me calm. I didn't know how to, and I still don't know how to talk about this trip that I went on to the Marshall Islands. But I think maybe I'll back up a bit. So, I went to the Marshall Islands. Let's see, it's 2021 right now. So I think it was like 7 years ago.
Okay. And where are the Marshall Islands?
So, great question. To orient everyone, the Marshall Islands are like in the middle of the Pacific, near the equator, halfway between Hawaii and Guam, Australia? I don't remember. But suffice it to say, they're in the middle of the the Pacific.
Okay.
By the equator. So quite warm.
Seems like a long plane ride too.
Yeah, it had a couple legs to it. So I think it was like layover in San Francisco, layover in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And then from Hawaii, there's only one route that goes to the Marshall Islands. I don't even know if it flies every day, but it's United.
Okay.
Yeah. Expensive tickets too. Because nobody goes there for like vacationing. So
Sure.
yeah, the locals didn't even believe me when I said I was just there on like a vacation. They're like, nobody
No one does that.
Yeah, nobody does that here.
Oh.
But yeah, let me back up a bit, because I don't know what made me start thinking that we live in a simulation, or be interested in the idea of that. Probably like the movie The Matrix or something just got me like thinking along those lines. And but even before that, before I was interested in like simulation theory, I have always had like a fascination with coincidences.
Okay, yeah.
Not like there's no such thing as a coincidence guy, but
I'm even thinking like conspiracy theories.
No,
just coincidences.
Just coincidences, okay. Yeah. And I mean, it's that part of your brain that really loves to like find the patterns, right?
Yep.
As an actuary, I think a lot of us have that.
Yeah.
And I just love seeing when like things happen to line up in a weird way, or like you hear something on the radio and then you see something related to that, like that same day. And then like you okay. So what I've done in my life is pursue coincidences. So whenever I see things start to line up, I will like change my schedule entirely and like I'll try to like walk the path of the coincidence. Gotcha. Right. So like I see a commercial for a thing that I've never seen before, and then that same day I like see it in like the window of a bar, and I'll decide, okay, I'm going to drink at this bar tonight and see what happens.
Okay.
And like, I have loved every time that I've made that kind of decision to like follow the coincidence.
I like it.
It's been like a wonderful exercise in just like spontaneity. And, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know if there's anything behind it, but it just gives me like this little inspirational spark to like do things.
Yep.
And, you know, then I saw The Matrix and I love that, and got into simulation theory. And certainly if there's like some weird layer of order to the universe that we're not directly aware of, you know, one way that we could experience it is through like strange coincidences. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So fast forward through the years, and one day I decided to Google my last name.
Okay.
And I was just like browsing different sites, and I saw this one that's like where my last name is most common. And top of the list was the Marshall Islands, this island nation that I'd never heard of. And I was like, I felt that like spark of inspiration. I was like, I gotta go here. Like this is where I'm supposed to be at some point.
Yeah.
And I was deep in like simulation theory at that point, and I was like, oh, what if I like go there and I find some like glitch or like Easter egg? Like I'm gonna hunt for the Easter egg while I'm in the Marshall Islands and just disconnect from everything, because like internet's hard to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, it just doesn't have like the same level of access as like other places that I've been. So I booked these like most expensive flights of my life, and I arranged for like the 2 weeks off or whatever, and flew to the Marshall Islands. And wow, what an incredible trip. And I'm seeing our recording is going a bit bonkers. Should we just push through it? Because like it hasn't been bad in the past.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Did we hit the 30-minute mark already?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but
I think it says like 16 minutes or something.
Agree. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just push through it. I'm like sticking to this chair. Were you having that issue?
No.
There's like a thin...
I feel like I'm sticking when I...
Yeah, there's like a thin strip of leather, and I'm really sweaty because I'm talking about this personal stuff. Anyway, I guess I'll just let it marinate. Uh, okay, so I booked these flights and landed on the Marshall Islands, and it was just such a wild trip. I mean, I guess I'll start with like the light stuff first. There's like a lot of wild dogs. Okay. First let me talk positively about the people there. They're all so friendly and so nice and welcoming, even though they didn't believe me that I was there for a vacation. But like everyone was like super sweet. Yeah. And they speak English because it used to be like an English territory. Okay. And then some of our viewers might be aware of the bombing of the Bikini Atoll, which is where like they tested a lot of the atomic bombs. Okay, and this is near there on the islands. I think that atoll is a part of the Marshall Islands. Yeah. Okay. So the Marshall Islands are like a string of islands, and then there's like one main one where their capital city of Majuro is. Okay. And I think well, that's their biggest city and their capital, and I think it's like 70,000 people, to give you a sense of size. Gotcha. Yeah, so it used to be U.S. territory. We tested a lot of atomic bombs on the Bikini Atoll, which is part of the Marshall Islands. And, obviously we didn't know back then, or maybe they did, but that caused a lot of like just a radioactive hellscape in that area. Okay. So like so many people in that atoll had to like move to other islands. Like it completely like ruined homes. So the U.S. government has been paying reparations to the Marshall Islands for a long time. And I think those either like just ended or about to end. Okay. And that accounted for a little over half of their GDP. Wow. So a lot of money. So yeah, I guess that's all kind of a brief history lesson that I may have partially wrong. But yeah, the people there were wonderful. Very welcoming. I went out clubbing with them one night, which was really cool. Yeah. Like clubbing with the locals, and like they were playing like traditional music. Well, it was like traditional instrumentation, but like they would take pop songs and like fit it to their instrumentation and music style. And then like the way that people went clubbing, like picture a standard club, maybe on like the divier side, but instead of like everyone being out on the dance floor for like a long time, it was like a song would play, people would come out to the dance floor, they'd dance, and then when the song ended, like one song, everyone would go back to their seats and like other people would come out to dance. Interesting. Yeah, it wasn't like people were just like out. It was like you kind of like went out for one song and then sat back down. This song defines you. You go out. Yeah, it was so interesting. But I had a good time like dancing with the locals. There were a lot of wild dogs, and I got chased isn't the right word, but I got like lunged at by wild dogs, and I was taught by like the guy that picked me up at the airport not to run when the dogs like try to defend their territory or something. You have to like pretend like it's not bothering you. That's hard to do when like an angry dog is like trying to come at you, and just like trying to like not react and just like kind of speed walk away. Yeah, it was a very interesting place to visit. But kind of getting back to the topic. So yeah, I went there to like find an Easter egg, and I was just sort of open to whatever I experienced while on the islands. So yeah, you didn't have like any plans really set out? Okay. Nope. No, I went there with like there were like no events to like sign up for. That's just not the kind of place it is. Yeah, maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that. So like a third of the country is undereducated. Okay. So there's like a really high illiteracy rate. And I remember like riding. So the owner of the hotel that I stayed at my first night, he picked me up from the airport. And as he was like driving me to Majuro, there were these like beautiful like mansion estates like on the side of the road. And you could just like see like super well manicured lawn, these palm trees. It was very tropical looking. And then, like the house further back. Yeah. And he said those were like the island's chiefs, or like former chiefs. And then as we got to the city, like it changed, right? So there's like a lot of housing made of corrugated metal that people have just sort of like stuck into the ground. Definitely some pretty big wealth disparity.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I came there with no plan, and it's not like I could have signed up for like a theater event or anything, but I don't know, like a week into the trip, I was at a like a gastro pub that some other foreigners were frequenting, and I was asked if I wanted to join this girl for like this. It was like a private island thing, so like we'd go to like our own private island for like a day, and I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. So that next day, we like this boat captain like took us to this island, and then he just like sailed away. So like we had an entire tropical island to ourselves, which is super cool. And as we were like walking along the beach, so the island was like just like a huge, beautiful beach all the way around.
Okay.
But the center of the island was like this incredibly dense tropical forest, right? Like so thick, right? And I have arachnophobia. It was just like spiders were everywhere, right?
This reminds me of like Naked and Afraid. You just get dropped off and then survive, but you're only there a day.
That's kind of what it felt like. So yeah, so we're like walking along the beach, and I'm just kind of like looking into the forest, and suddenly there's like, it was like out of a fairy tale storybook. It was like, instead of super dense forest, suddenly there's like this kind of like path that was like super overhung with like these like viney structures and leaves and stuff. It was almost like a tunnel of plants. And I could see like spider webs and like these huge like spiders just like dangling in the air. And it was like equal parts like fascinating and like it was like really capturing my emotions, but also like terrifying because of the spiders. And I felt like I could feel it like in my soul. I was like, this is the challenging path that I need to walk. And we kept walking down the beach, and we found a spot to like lay out, and we were there for a number of hours. And then when it was time to like head back to the boat, and we were like walking back along the beach, I was like, you go ahead. I'll meet up with you in a bit. And she's like, sure. And so she like went on toward the boat, and I turned into this tunnel, right? Yep. Oh my God. I was like, there were so many layers of these like webs and spiders. And it was like in a movie when they're like dodging when it's like a heist movie and they're like, like the athletic person is like dodging the laser beams and stuff. It was like that. And I was like, I have to do it. So like, I was like army crawling at one point, like, and oh my God, it was so terrifying, but I got through it. And it was amazing because like after that tunnel, suddenly there's like a clearing with just like this, it's basically just like grass, but then these huge bushes like all the way around the clearing. It was like this weird, empty, like negative zone where nothing was living for some reason except a little bit of grass. And nobody lived on the island. I don't know what this would be used for, but it didn't look man-made. It was just like a random clearing. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll find this Easter egg here. So I was like, just sort of like walking, around the perimeter of this place looking for an egg, whatever that means. And suddenly I heard,
oh my gosh.
I heard the sound of chickens from the bush. And I like looked in, and there's like this like gaggle of wild chickens living in there. And I was just like, I don't know. It was this weird moment where I was looking for an egg, but I found the chicken instead. Gosh. And I was like, I don't know. That I have nothing to say if we're living in a simulation or not. There's no proof of that. But like, it was such a powerful moment when I was like, just like the idea of like, I was looking for an egg, but found the chicken.
Yeah.
And for me, that was so powerful, and it just like further confirmed for me that the way that I pursue coincidence and the way that I like try to walk that path has led to some of the most interesting experiences of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing that forever. And maybe I'll find something, maybe I won't, but I know I'll never regret walking that path.
Gosh, yeah. I feel like my life is now like, I need to do something more with my life and follow a random sign or path or I don't know. First step is to Google my name.
Yeah.
Oh, that is an insane story to me.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And I'm going to have a follow-up story in a couple years because I want to, do you know what, well, an antipode, for those who don't know, an antipode is, I'm like covered with my cat's hair. Can you all see her on the camera? Or do I just look like I'm rubbing my lap?
It kind of does.
Okay, my cat's down here, I promise. So an antipode is when you have a sphere, right? Let's say you pick a point on that sphere. So like you pick this knuckle. The antipode of that is drawing a line directly through the center of the sphere.
Okay,
it's the point on the other side.
Yep.
So the Marshall Islands has a close antipode in Ascension Island, which is in the middle of the Atlantic. Oh, I forgot to text my wife not to make noise when she comes in because we're recording. That's okay.
She's home.
So yeah, there's an antipode to the Marshall Islands in Ascension Island in the middle of the Atlantic, which is a super beautiful island.
Okay.
And people actually do go there to like check out the wildlife. Yeah, I don't know how like it's probably not like the most approachable vacation, but certainly people who are like wildlife enthusiasts would be interested in going there.
Interesting.
So I'm not going to dive too deep into the reasons why I'm going to be going there in a couple of years, but basically a number of coincidences led me to wanting to pursue the antipode of the Marshall Islands, to find the other side. Like, yeah, here's the chicken. Maybe the egg is over here.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with that trip. But I think that's going to be awesome.
And this will be like another like traveling alone type trip.
I'm actually, so I'm going to do this one the other way. So the Marshall Islands trip was traveling alone.
Okay.
This time I'm going to put out like the call to anyone who wants to join me on the trip to join for Ascension Island.
Okay. Just sounds like a game now. Ascension Island.
Yeah.
Or like a show on TV. Yeah.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. And, oh man, you know, if we are living in a simulation, I think we need people to be pursuing, to be looking into things that could indicate we are. So looking for glitches, looking for Easter eggs, looking for, you know, all these oddities that might be like another layer to reality.
Have you like heard other people kind of like us, like talking in a video? Have you like listened to other people's stories about similar situations, like where they're searching for Easter eggs or glitches? Or do you is this kind of like a on your own thing, not influenced by anyone?
This is an on my own thing. I hear a lot of people, and I really like reading stories about people's like supernatural experiences or what they view as supernatural. Like that's always kind of interesting. And there may be some indicators in there of some other layer to reality, but I haven't read or heard anything about people like looking for the Easter eggs and looking for the glitches.
Gotcha.
So if you're interested, let's hunt.
Or just tell us your story in the comments, you know? Yeah,
actually, yeah. If any of you have experienced any like super weird coincidences, or have, you know, done your own work to try to look for these things, I'd be cool to hear. I'd be super interested. Yeah, good idea. Anything else you want to ask about that? I do have more stories about the trip, but I don't really want to talk about the trip itself.
Yeah, I know that.
So much, but
that was cool of itself. Like when you said you came upon the chickens, I'm like, oh, well, they're chickens. But then it like took me a second to click like, oh, but you were looking for an egg. And then I was like, chicken or the egg? Oh.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Also, like wild chickens on an island? in the middle of the Pacific. It was just like so many layers of like.
Yeah, I feel like
what
those
is going
might be
on?
common though.
They certainly had chickens on the mainland.
Okay, yeah.
I just don't know how the chickens would have gotten to like this empty island. But
I don't remember.
I'm sure humans brought them at some point.
Yeah. And like we went to Bermuda and it's the same thing. A bunch of chickens are roaming the island, wild chickens. But even in like Key West, there is a story on why there's chickens roaming, but I don't remember the story. I feel like a bunch of people had chickens and like maybe it was illegal to have them as pets at one point. So everyone had to release their chickens and then they all became wild. But yeah, that's more like mainland stuff. So interesting.
Yeah. I really felt like it was like the universe was telling me like you're on the right path, but maybe you're not like thinking about it quite right or something. Like I felt like it was like a sign.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about the Dark Triad?
Yeah. Did you want to?
Which sounds spookier than it actually is.
I need a good explanation of it, but did you want to talk about dreams at all? I know that was like another thing from last time, or is that a?
Were we ending with the Dark Triad? Am I getting things out of order?
No, I think it's just dreams into the Dark Triad, but maybe it's the other way around.
I'll save the dreams part.
Okay.
I feel like I've been talking a lot.
But yeah, let's do that. I don't know how to explain this.
Yeah. So a lot of you are probably familiar with personality tests. The Dark Triad is like a version of a personality test that focuses on negative aspects of the personality. So, okay. So there are 3 negative aspects that it touches on. There's narcissism.
I know what that means.
Okay. Probably a lot of our viewers do too, but narcissism is like, maybe we should look it up. I don't want to like give a...
Yeah.
Because it is actually like a
I think
thing,
it's
right?
like, well, I think so, but I think, yeah, because I feel like it's all I heard about when I watched Criminal Minds, like on snow days.
Well,
I feel
tell
like
me.
a lot of the killers
What is
were
a narcissist?
narcissists. Obsessed with themselves?
Well, they're usually not killers though, right?
No, but I think killers have that tendency to have more of that or something.
Yeah, that could make sense, yeah.
Because they would talk about it a lot. I don't know in what way. But yeah.
But yeah, like self-obsessed.
Yep.
Okay. Machiavellianism, which is, as I understand it, like the ends justify the means kind of mentality.
Yep.
Turned up to 11. Like you're willing to like be super unethical to like get your way. And it's very like strategic, like, you can have these like really elaborate plans in place to like achieve your goals.
Can you repeat the word again?
Machiavellianism.
Machiavellianism.
Named after Machiavelli, who's a famous, he wrote some book that's pretty famous about like war strategy or something. Yeah. And then the third Dark Triad, which I don't think either of us will have a high score on this, but who knows?
We'll find out.
Psychopathy. So like your psychopath quotient or whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we're looking forward to sharing those results with you. We're gonna like cut the feed for a few minutes. We're gonna take our tests and then we're gonna
share.
Yeah, we're gonna share our results and talk about how we feel about how high of a rating we got in these Dark Triad things.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right.
I'm excited.
I'll be back in a minute.
I don't look like a ghost.
That's good thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, man. Actually, this came out really different than how I expected. Like, I thought for sure that I would have some Machiavellianism, but I'm like negative on Machiavellianism.
Yeah.
That might make sense because...
So the scores are 0 through 4, I just read.
Yeah.
So that first one, yeah, but we have a negative.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, let's talk for a second. I think first there's something confusing, and sorry for those of you who are watching the video version of this. If I'm looking like past you, it's because I've got my scores like up on the screen behind where the camera is, so I probably look like I'm looking in some weird direction. So. But yeah, like it says scores are between 0 and 4, but we got like a -1 in one of the one of the categories, which is not what they said should be possible. But yeah, let's talk about that a bit. So we've got narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. And I think let's just go down like the list here. So are you narcissistic?
I guess I would say no for these results, right? Like 3% of people are scored less than us.
Wait.
So 97% have more narcissism.
Have equal to or greater narcissism.
I think so.
Is that what that indicates?
It says the percentile is what percent of other people who have taken this test you score higher than. So we score higher than 3% of people.
This seems like we're not narcissistic at all.
Right. But a score of 1 out of 4 also is like, maybe so compared to other people, maybe we're all just not that narcissistic.
Yeah.
But like we still have a score of 1 out of 4.
We didn't get a 0 though. We got a
right.
A
we got the same score, by the way. I don't know if we
like
explicitly said that, but yeah.
Wow.
So 1 out of 4.
Yeah. Okay. So narcissism is an egotistical preoccupation with self. Because of all their experience with maintaining their self-image, people who score high for narcissism will often appear charming, but their narcissism will later lead to extreme difficulty in developing close relationships. Yeah, I certainly don't think that I ever... My mild bit of narcissism is more of like a boost than something that interferes with like my ability to respect and admire other people.
And I'd like to think that we'll appear charming and stay that way.
We appear charming because we are.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so next, Machiavellianism. We got -1, which according to what this website says shouldn't even be possible. Did we just pick a bad website? Is that what happened
I don't
here?
know.
Well, I'll take credit for the bad website. But we both got -1 for Machiavellianism. So not only are we not like the ends justify the means kind of people who... Okay, let's just read the description. Machiavellianism is a tendency to be manipulative and deceitful. It usually stems from a lack of respect or disillusionment for others. So I feel like I definitely have the capacity to be manipulative. And I think there are times in my life when I was younger where I definitely tended more toward that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after a lot of development and reaching a point of bliss, I feel like I tend to like barrel into my problems now instead of trying to like manipulate things to get what I want. I just tend to be direct now.
And I feel like some of the questions that they asked were like morally like, I don't agree with that because that seems morally wrong to do.
Yeah.
And so it was like getting revenge or I don't know.
Yeah. Do you actually, since we got the exact same score, do you want to just pull up the test on your screen? That way we just have the questions up in front of us. So yeah, we both got negative. And I just feel like I have a tendency now to be like super direct in how I approach problems in my life and people in my life, as opposed to in the past where I may have tried to have been a little more.
I mean, I still feel like sometimes I'll be to Dan like, oh, it'd be so nice if someone else did the dishes tonight.
Do you say it just like that?
No.
Because I'd call that direct, but like being funny about it.
Yes, but no, sometimes I will be like, oh my God, my feet hurt, but look at all the dishes in the sink or something like that. Something that is like a little around the bush, but he will pick up on it.
Okay.
And then sometimes I'll just be like, that's a hint.
Yeah, I would call that being pretty direct though.
Yep.
Like that's not...
I'm not trying to, manipulate him, I guess.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think -1 Machiavellianism is probably pretty healthy.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, check out some of these questions. People who mess with me always regret it.
I thought payback needs to be quick and nasty. I would laughed at that one.
So that one I thought was funny because
the word
like it's not very often that and maybe not at all anymore, but like when I have felt like, oh, I wish I could get payback on this thing, it's always been like, okay, I should think of like an elaborate way to do that. And then I just kind of lose interest. But I've never felt like the need to like spurn someone in the moment or something.
And so one that made me actually think is like, it's wise to keep track of information that you can use against people later. And I actually had to think about that one because I was like, well, if I'm evaluating someone on the performance they're doing, I'm not necessarily using it against them, but it'll help me make decisions later on when,
right.
I don't know.
Well, and that's like, not just like in a career context, like if I notice or know something negative about someone, I'll keep track of it for my own, like, should I be spending time with this person? Yeah, are they a good person to keep in my life? Like, yeah, it's not for the purpose of like blackmailing them or something ridiculous like that.
Or even like warning other people like, hey, that person might not be someone you want to hang around.
Yeah. Or like, you might not want to loan them that $1,000, like whatever.
Yeah. That was an interesting one.
I feel embarrassed if someone compliments me. I said strong disagree because I love it when I get compliments.
Oh, see, I said strongly. Oh, no, I think I said slightly agree.
Okay.
Because when someone compliments me, I love it. And that's like one of my actual like motivators. When someone gives me a compliment, it motivates me to do it even better, whatever they complimented me on. But I get embarrassed by it. Okay. I do get embarrassed. It motivates me. But I'm always like, oh, thanks. Like, I didn't want you to say that in front of other people. Or I don't know how to respond when people compliment me.
It's so interesting that we got the exact same score, even though we had pretty different answers.
I wonder, what if we put agree on everything and see what the result comes out to be?
Same scores. Okay. So, we've talked about narcissism. We've talked about Machiavellianism. Now let's talk about psychopathy, psychopathy, however you say it.
0.3.
Yeah, we both got 0.3, which is so weird to me that we got like a decimal on this. But psychopathy reflects shallow emotional responses. The relative lack of emotions results in high stress tolerance, low empathy, little guilt, and leads them to seek extremely stimulating activities, resulting in impulsivity and a disposition toward interpersonal conflict. That's interesting. Do you know anyone like that?
I don't think so. Maybe.
I think I might. Shallow emotional responses.
Lack of emotions. High stress. I mean, I've probably, not on a personal level, I would say.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I don't know if I know anyone.
Well, I'm guessing someone who's like high on that might not be an easy person to get to know personally.
Yeah. Or I've avoided.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. But yeah, there were some that definitely.
So yeah, we both got 0.3 on a 0 to 4 scale. Or maybe -1 to 4 scale.
Yeah.
For psychopathy.
There's one, I avoid dangerous situations. I said strongly agree. Probably because I'm an actuary, though, and I don't take risks.
I think I said slight disagree.
Really?
Yeah, this is so weird that we had very different answers. Maybe we should do like a different website.
Yeah, and then test.
Yeah, maybe sometime this week.
Otherwise, I think maybe this site is used for people who are high on these scales, and so everything seems so low for us.
Because we're normal folk.
Normal. Sure.
Yeah, normal's probably not the right word, but we are non-Dark Triad enthusiasts.
No.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess
that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
makes us more boring, right? Maybe though.
I don't know. I feel like I should have been higher on.
Well, that's what I am wondering if there is a different test.
I feel like I should have been 2 out of 4 on narcissism.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because
like one of the questions was like, do you remember that question that was like about being the center of attention?
Yes, I like to be the center of attention. I think. Yeah. And I think I said completely disagree.
I said completely agree. Like, there's no way that we both had the same narcissism score. with how we answered that, right?
Okay. Yeah, but so I just went through and I marked strongly agree for everything. And now it does say really high scores.
Okay.
So I think it does
So
work.
the website works.
Maybe we just like answered opposite so many times that it kind of evened
Yeah, maybe
out.
we like hit under some threshold.
Yeah.
And so like,
Interesting.
yeah. Anyway, this is, people probably don't need to know about our our dissection of this website's algorithm or whatever.
Well, yeah, because also, I said strongly agree. It doesn't mean it's a narcissistic thing. I was going to say it only got 2.7, but yeah, I don't know. It made me think about some of them. Hold on. I feel like I wrote some down that I wanted to share, but we might have already talked about them.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was just expecting that I would be at least a little bit Dark Triad. But I'm not.
Maybe just relative. Maybe it is all relative too, like compared to others. But okay, so one of them said most people can be manipulated. And I was like, what is it testing me here? Because is it like I think most people can because I do it? Or is it just like a fact, like are most people gullible? Or are most people like sure, I'll buy a car at a certain price because the salesperson leads me to it. I don't know. Yeah,
I think I marked mild agree on that one because I think most people like I've been manipulated, and I feel like I feel like I have like such a strong mental fortitude, but like I've been manipulated.
Yep. Because I was like, everyone can be slightly, right?
Yeah, I feel like we're all kind of susceptible to it.
Yep.
Unless someone is just like a complete like single track mind kind of person.
Yeah. But. And then many group activities tend to be dull without me. Oh. I was like, nah. I
said mild disagree to that.
I might have said that too, but I was like, nah, they aren't waiting for me for the party to start.
Yeah. Like I feel like we both add to any party we go to, but I don't.
That's why we're invited.
Like me not going to a party doesn't mean that the party never it's not like the party doesn't start till I walk in.
Yeah.
You know.
Little pink action there.
All right.
Interesting.
That was great. I'm surprised we are normal, or whatever the right word is for this. I'm surprised we're not Dark Triad at all.
Yeah, I think I was nervous to find out I was, so I'm glad that didn't happen.
I was hopeful that I'd be a little higher, but I wasn't. I'm a little disappointed.
You weren't dark enough.
Yeah, I guess. I think maybe that just means that I've grown a lot over the years, and I'm probably more comfortable in like who I am, and don't feel like I need to use Machiavellian techniques or something. I don't know. I really thought narcissism would be higher, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about today?
No, I don't. I think I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out of the
I'm pretty
topics.
spun too. I'm super hungry too. What do you want to get?
I don't know. I was honestly thinking about Mexican food a lot lately, but I don't know if there is any close. But I was craving Indian food also. What about you?
I was thinking about Indian food too.
That might be it then.
Yeah. I love Indian food. I think it might be like my favorite cuisine, but I kind of don't like ordering it because I feel like it just comes in so many containers.
Yeah.
And it like fills up a trash bin with, you got like the sauce and then the rice and then all the extra stuff.
See, so like my favorite cuisine is Italian, but I hardly eat Italian food because I just feel like there's not a great place around.
Really? I'm surprised.
And I love just pasta. I can make my own pasta pretty easily.
Because I found great everything in this city we live in.
Yeah, it's just like, Italian, is it a drive? Do I have to wait for it?
Okay.
But there's only like one Italian place that I love.
In the area?
And the price. There's another one I like, but it's more expensive, so I don't like to go there very often. But I don't know.
Do you want to spend a lot today?
Depends what we're having.
I think we should go for Indian. That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. And being there in person, I think will be much preferred to ordering it in.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. All right. thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
I guess.
Thanks for
I don't know
watching.
why I said it like a question. Yeah.
We are thankful.
We love all the support we've been getting. I think at this point we've put out episode number 2.
Yeah.
Although at the time that you're watching this, it's episode 6. But yeah, as of the time of recording, we have 2 episodes out. It's been super cool looking at the metrics. Yeah, I'll show you that actually. Well, some other day I'll show you that. But yeah, the metrics have been super cool. Loving all the support we're getting. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing to the YouTube channel is probably the biggest thing that helps us out right now, because there are certain thresholds you need to reach before YouTube will start using its algorithm to push out your channel. I'm just like spraying cat hair. So yeah, please subscribe if you like the content, and
let us know, maybe even in the comments, what you want to hear about. Maybe we can find someone to talk about it. And
one last thing, in the comments, if you've got anything you want advice on, we would love to start an advice segment. So please ask your question, or if you're not comfortable having it out there publicly on YouTube, send us a DM, and we will talk about your advice question anonymously on the podcast. We would love to do that, but we need to get those questions coming in so that we can start to respond.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think that'll be a really good time.
Sweet.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.